I always wanted to come to New Zealand because I know the landscape and nature is really beautiful here.
The people are really lovely over here.
It's a beautiful city. I've never felt more at home than I do in Auckland.
The moment I stepped outside the airport, I saw everything was so green.
I just pop out of my house and I can just see the beauty of nature over here.
Compared to other cities, here you have the park right in the middle of the city. It's green everywhere.
But the one thing that I noticed in Auckland, people always carry a smile.
Everyone gets in the mood of New Zealand, which is calm and easygoing.
When I came over here, there were so many people from different sections of the world.
The moment you come to Auckland, you see so many different kinds of people.
You have all the Maori influence here, like the culture, so there's also always something for everyone.
Auckland is one of the most multicultural cities in the world.
University of Auckland is the leading university of New Zealand.
The research center is one of the best in the world.
All the staff, all the lecturers that I've had have been fantastic. They come to class with a lot of ideas, a lot of passion.
They really go out of their way to help you.
It has a good support system for the students.
Yeah, if you have any problem with a visa, they're going to help you. If you even need accommodation, they will help you. Yeah, there's always something to do here. Whether you're more quiet or you prefer like extreme sports.
I like the galleries. They always have different exhibitions.
Queen Street, which has a lot of cafes, cafeterias, pubs, restaurants, and it's like the busiest street in Auckland.
There's a really good social life in Auckland as well. There's lots of nightclubs and stuff to go to.
Just roam around on the streets and you enjoy yourself. This is not a place where you can get bored. It's lovely here.
One of the best and scenic places is Piha Beach, where I have been, and that's amazing, and that the view is very good.
Mission Bay, it's just the beach. It's very close to the centre.
The favorite place would be Mount Eden, of course.
What is special with Mount Eden is that you see the crater. Yeah, you have a really nice view of the city.
You step out of the house, you walk on the streets and you enjoy yourself. That's pretty much in Auckland.
I think Auckland is the amalgamation of almost all the qualities that you want in a city.
Move here. It's fun. Try it out.
You will love New Zealand, you will love Auckland, that's for sure.
You cannot Google the beauty of Auckland. It's not possible. You have to come here to experience it.
What are you thinking of? Just come over and study here. You're going to enjoy yourself.
Right. Let's start. Kia ora, Indonesia, Malaysia, and Singapore. I'm Gunela, Counseling Manager and Destination Manager for New Zealand at ACC Global Indonesia. Thank you for each one of you who is here with us today, joining this session. So let's start with a short introduction about ACC Global. So we've been operating since 2008, and we are a professional body that helps students connect with the right institution in New Zealand. With our experience, your dream of studying abroad in New Zealand will be a simpler, smoother, and also easier process. So today marks the last day, and in fact, the last session of ACC Global. We're in collaboration with Education New Zealand. So we are proudly hosting ANC 360 Live with all of you here. You'll be able to engage with any of the 8 universities on Facebook, YouTube, or LinkedIn. You just search ACC Global, be it Indonesia, Malaysia, or Singapore, and you can view us live from 8 to 11 December. And please help to like and share this live to your friends who probably are interested to study in New Zealand. If you have any questions, just want to say hi to us, just drop a message in the comment box down below. Once again, a very warm welcome to each one of you. And we are pleased here to have Marcelo Credidio, International Manager from the University of Auckland. And I think I will not take much of the time because there will be a lot of information from Marcelo today. So welcome, Marcelo. How are you?
Thank you, Yanela. I'm great. I'm feeling great. It's great to be here today with you, with the AECC Global team. Fantastic, yeah. And I should say kia ora tato, which is our way to greet friends who are, overseas. So, really nice to be with you today. Can
Do we
you
have
hear
to
me?
reply the same, like kia ora tato?
We just say kia ora is a friendly way to say hi. It's more
Uh,
informal way. So that's
mhm.
that's how we do here in New Zealand. So, but you did well. I got your kia ora when you started. Well done, well done. Well,
Thank you.
also, yeah, I mean, I should also thank Education New Zealand and AECC Global for this great event, great initiative, ENZ 360. What a great opportunity to share, what we have, what our universities have to offer. So really, really good opportunity. Yeah, and I'm happy to be here.
That's great. So do you want to just start with whatever you want to share with us today?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I thought would be a good idea to to cover a bit. I've seen the previous sessions from my colleagues from other universities, and there's been a lot said about New Zealand and about our beautiful
Mhm.
cities and universities. So what I thought I would do, I'll probably, if that's okay, I'll share a quick video about the University of Auckland, just to give a taste of the university, and then I'll share some useful information for our great students that are currently in Indonesia, in Malaysia, or Singapore. Is that all right?
Great.
All right. So I'll
Yes, sure,
just
sure.
share here.
You able to share the screen? Yeah.
Excellent. Yes. So
It's a great
this was
video.
really. Yes, I think I really like this video because it really shows it's a small sample of the kind of research, cutting edge research that
Mhm.
our team here at the University of Auckland do. So some really exciting new technologies, startups, incubators, all research from all the different fields. I'll talk a little bit about
Mhm.
the areas of specialization and what's possible to study and to research with us, but just yeah,
Great.
this video gives a visual of all that, so it's really exciting. Yeah. So I'll just carry on and provide a bit of information and overview about the university, if that's all right.
Yes, sure.
But before getting into the university, I just wanted to make my contribution to the understanding of New Zealand for those who are interested in thinking of joining us here in New Zealand. And it's not about cities, it's not about locations or institutions. Here, my comment is really about the culture, the New Zealand culture, and the values of New Zealand. So we normally like to say that New Zealand is made up of three qualities or values that make us quite unique, very different than Australia, than the US, all great countries, but we are very different. And the three values that I'd like to mention are kaitiaki, which is about us being the guardians of people, place, and planet. Obviously, this comes from the Maori culture, our indigenous people from New Zealand. Also, ingenuity, which is about our spirit of exploration, adventure, and creativity. This is really, it's in the DNA of every New Zealander. And the integrity of our people. So we really like to say that we do what we say we will do. So whatever we say, we honor what we say. And to give you a few examples of that, first about kaitiaki. So just some global perspective on that. So New Zealand is the second out of 149 economies for prosperity. Okay, so again, this is a global survey on prosperity. So second in the world, third for human rights, and second in 163 nations about peacefulness. So one of the most peaceful countries in the world. Sorry. So again, that's just some examples of how we take care of the people, and we take care of our students, our international students, once they are here. The other area that I mentioned is about ingenuity, and it's about creativity, challenging the status quo. So we are number one in terms of ease of doing business. So we're the easiest country to do business in the world. You literally can start a company in 30 minutes. So it's quite easy to start. We have a very simplified taxation system, all very straightforward for entrepreneurs and small and medium enterprise. We are the fifth in Asia Pacific for innovation, third for global creativity, just to give some examples. And then when talking about integrity, as I mentioned before, we like to do what we say we're going to do. So we're number one in the world for corruption transparency. So, and that makes us basically the least corrupt country in the world, according to to this global study. Number one for transparency, and third in economic freedom. So, again, I'll stop throwing data there, but just to give a kind of an external perspective of all that. Now, in terms of our city, you saw some of the videos early in this live showing the city of Auckland. So that's where we are. And actually, right now, it's 6:45 p.m. and it's daylight still, and it's very much like in this picture. The sunset is coming. So the sky today really looks like that. We are a 1.5 million people city, probably relatively small city compared to Indonesia, to Jakarta, or to KL, but we are the largest city in New Zealand. Okay. Another aspect of us now getting into the university, just sharing a few key facts about the University of Auckland. So we are the largest university in New Zealand, and also the university ranked number one in the country. And that is according to the QS World University Rankings and some of the other important rankings like the Times Higher Education Ranking. When I say we're the largest, just to give some perspective, we have about 42,000 students, and 8,000 of them are international students from over 120 countries. So a very international university. We do have quite a few students from Indonesia, from Malaysia, from Singapore, we love having them with us on campus. Okay, overall, internationally, we are ranked 81st in the world, so we are a top 100 university, which really sets us apart, in this region that we are. One last ranking to mention here is the Times Higher Education ranking for sustainable impact. The University of Auckland is ranked #1 in this important ranking that measures the impact that universities brings to society. So it's it's fantastic being ranked #1, considering that there are over 800 universities in this ranking, very top universities. So we are becoming a hub for sustainable impact here at the University of Auckland.
Nice.
Yeah, and in terms of our connections, Yonela, you would imagine, being the #1 university in New Zealand, we are obviously very well connected. We have partners in 45 different countries, including universities in your region, like Yogyakarta, like Rajamada University, and all, but basically in the 3 countries that we are talking today, and that is great because it really helps our researchers to engage and globally, and also to have knowledge not just going from here to the world, but we have researchers from all over the world working with our academics and basically bringing knowledge to society, which is fantastic. All right. I just wanted to give, in the university, we have hundreds of programs and areas to specialize. I don't have the intention to go over everything here. I just really want to give a quick overview for our students that are now watching us and are thinking of studying with us, and they want to know what they can do at the University of Auckland, or if their area is something that we teach or research. So here, just a quick overview. We have basically we split ourselves in 8 faculties. So we have the Faculty of Arts, Faculty of Business and Economics, Faculty of Creative Arts and Industries, Faculty of Education and Social Work, the Faculty of Engineering, Law, Medical and Health Science, and the Faculty of Science. Right? So all the programs are basically delivered by our 8 faculties. So over 200 programs, as I mentioned. If you ask me, Marcelo, but what are you really good at? What's the University of Auckland, outstanding? What areas are you really good? It's hard to answer that. So I'm just showing here the QS World University rankings by subject, the latest ranking, just to give an idea of the areas that we really exceed. In this case, I'm showing you the subjects that we are top 50. So you have there archaeology, pharmacy and pharmacology, education, sport-related studies. You have engineering, civil and structural. And I won't read through, but you can see they're very diverse. It's not that we are good at engineering and our engineering is great, or our medical school is great, or our business school is good. We have subjects across the 8 faculties that are top ranked. And if you look at top 100 subjects, then the list goes on, and I won't go into that. But as you can see, pretty much all areas. It's easier for you to ask what we don't teach, which is basically, if you ask, oh, do you have like vet? No, we don't do that. That's something that we don't do. So it's easy to ask what we don't do, than what we do here. I've been mentioning our research, and just quick fact, 35% of the top rated researchers in New Zealand, they are based at our university. And so it's, again, we have cutting edge research from all the different fields, and the university has over 60 research centers. In terms of go on.
Sorry, I've read it somewhere that University of Auckland has, I think it's called Uni Services. It's our research and development kind of company, and it's it's
Exactly.
one
Yeah.
of a kind. Yeah. So.
That's right. Oh, great that you heard about them. Yes. So Uni Services is one of the arms of the University of
Mhm.
Auckland, and that is the kind of the what we say is the commercial arm. It's a separate institution that is their role is basically to help our researchers to
Mhm.
commercialize our research. It's about
Oh, okay.
the intellectual property and make their great inventions to become businesses, or
Mhm.
eventually to commercialize their intellectual property. So it's a very important department or arm of the University of Auckland. So it's yeah it's
That's great.
and
So the researcher is not only do research, but know what to do next. How to, I think how to do the copyright or patent or such
Yeah,
thing,
it's
right?
it's really to support from the very
Mhm.
very basics. And actually, I worked with some researchers here
Mhm.
who actually they went through an internal competition about business plans. They won the competition. They received seed funds from the university, and then they got all the support from Uni Services to really launch a startup. And nowadays, this startup, is doing really well. And just to give you an idea, they are now in France. They changed their head office to France because they are related to. They work with in the wine industry, and so they have now the head
Mhm.
office based in France. And that was just one example that I watched closely. But yeah, so very good, very very interesting area of work.
That's
Yeah.
great. All right.
So yeah, so now, okay, all this is great. So many areas, so many things that you can study. But let's get more into practical
Mhm.
terms. How students can, what programs and what areas, how does that work? So I thought I would just share just a bit of an overview of programs, because I
Yep.
know when I meet students from Indonesia, or even when I'm in Malaysia, they try to understand the New Zealand system. We have our own system and our degrees with names that sometimes differ from from other countries. That's common
Mhm.
around the world. So with
Mhm.
us here, just to give you an overview, we have pre-degrees, pre-degree programs, and this is basically foundation programs. So programs to equip students that are coming from high school. If they don't meet the requirements for undergraduate, for a bachelor degree, they can do foundation and then they enter the university. So we do that, and we have our foundation partners that deliver that program. Then you have at undergraduate level, you have bachelor degrees and you have graduate diplomas. But obviously, bachelor degrees are it
Mhm.
basically these are the degrees, the basic degrees, and you find bachelor degrees across the 8 faculties. Okay, at postgraduate level, and you will see that I'm mentioning level 8 to level 10. This is according to the New Zealand qualifications framework.
Yep.
Um, they are bachelor honors, postgraduate diplomas, or postgraduate certificates. Master degrees, masters will be taught, which are professional masters, or research masters. And then we have our doctoral degrees. So across the 8 faculties, you'll find programs across these different levels. Okay. In terms of faculties, again, I won't go into the detail, but Faculty of Arts, that's where you find anthropology, arts history, communication, creative writing, all the different languages, linguistics, all there is under the Faculty of Arts. Public policy, very important area, and we have quite a few students from Southeast
Mhm.
Asia coming for our Master of Public Policy, for example. Okay. In our business school, which
Mhm.
is the faculty that I work closely, our Faculty of Business and Economics, we have, again, all the different management and business studies, all different areas from accounting, finance, entrepreneurship, management, international business, marketing, and you can see that on the screen. Again, all from
Yep.
undergrad to postgrad, master's, and PhD across all faculties. At Creative Arts and Industries, that's basically home for our architecture program. and also design and the fine arts. So these are some of the subjects that creative arts and industries teach, okay? From our Faculty of Education and Social Work, that's more obvious, all the education programs, so Bachelor of Education, Master of Education and Leadership, and then counseling and social work. So all the education and social work areas are under the Faculty of Education. Law, our law school is one of the top law schools in the world. It's currently ranked 44 in the world, very important. And again, we have a LLB, LLM, and all other research masters that international students can do. Faculty of Engineering, top in their field, in the top 50 in the world, all the different areas. Most commonly, I see students coming from Southeast Asia, particularly from Indonesia. I see students coming for geotechnical, for environmental, for obviously, the civil is always there, but we have earthquake studies as well. So we have quite a few students coming for disaster management and those areas, okay? In our Faculty of Medical and Health Science, won't go into the detail, but all the health science are there, from human health science, obviously. We have in New Zealand, we have only 2 medical schools. One is at Otago University, and the other one is at the University of Auckland. So in our Faculty of Medical and Health Science, okay? And then in our Faculty of Science, it's the largest Faculty of Science in New Zealand. You have the environmental science areas, the life science or biological science, and then you have computer science. So information technology, data analytics, all the computer and computer science fields, they're all part of this faculty. So that's why it's a very comprehensive faculty. One thing before we might have questions already, but I just want to give the quick message here that we always get questions about scholarships. So we do have scholarships that are suitable for students from Indonesia, Malaysia, and Singapore. These are some of the scholarships that I wanted to share today. Basic one is the University of Auckland International Student Excellence Scholarship, which is up to $10,000 for undergrad or postgraduate programs, okay? We have the Business Masters Scholarship, which is up to $32,000, and that is for the Master of Management, Master of International Business, Master of Marketing, and Master of Professional Accounting. We have also the Faculty of Arts Master's Degree Scholarship, for the programs, for the master's programs from arts, and then the Faculty of Creative Arts Master's Award as well. These scholarships that I mentioned, they are part of this $15 million that the University of Auckland provides every year to international students. Just to give a figure that for you to think about. Externally,
is it a one-off scholarship, Marcelo? Like say 10,000. Is it for like the first year only, or for the whole duration of the course?
It's one-off. Yeah, it's one-off scholarship of $10,000. Yeah, which is applied in the first year of studies. That's right. But so you have 10,000. That's probably about a third or equivalent to maybe 30 or 25% of a year of tuition fee. The reason why we keep that value is because we want to provide more. So instead of giving full scholarships, we do that, but then we have tens of those scholarships for students. So that's why. Yeah. One other. So those are scholarships from the University of Auckland. Now here, just a highlight for 3 external scholarships that are available for Southeast Asian students. So we have the New Zealand scholarships. These are provided by the New Zealand government, by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Trade. Okay, this is a full ride scholarship, and I advise, it's easy if you search for New Zealand scholarship or New Zealand government scholarship, you'll find this online. You have also the New Zealand Commonwealth scholarships, also provided externally by the Commonwealth, and then the ADB Japan scholarship program. Again, this is a postgraduate scholarship provided externally. So worth check. These are the three names of these three scholarships that are particularly for development countries in Southeast Asia. Worth checking those. Okay. Obviously, don't forget, for those who are watching us, AECC Global have all the information, and they can help you to find this as specialists in New Zealand. Finally, just a quick one, because I know that we do have quite a few doctoral students planning to do their doctoral studies, and we always get questions. Doctoral studies at the University of Auckland, and basically the same rules here are for the 8 universities in New Zealand. Doctoral degree with us in New Zealand, it's a 3-year full-time study, only research. You don't have coursework. So when you come to your doctorate, to your PhD, you must come with sufficient research skills, advanced research skills, in order to undertake independent research. Okay. Now, good news. As an international student, when you come to do your PhD in New Zealand, you can work full-time while doing your PhD. Okay. Also, if you have family, your spouse or partner is eligible to come on a work visa. So you come on a student visa, able to work full-time. Your partner, spouse can work full-time as well with a work visa. And if you have children, your dependent children will receive the same school benefits as a New Zealand children, which basically is free education. So the age for education in New Zealand is from 5 to 17 years old. So if the children are within this age range, they are entitled to free education. Okay, and then when you graduate, once you graduate from your PhD, you can have a post-study work visa and remain in New Zealand for another 3 years on a work visa. That's it. That's what I wanted to say, because I know people ask and they want to understand how it works.
Let's say,
yes.
Sorry. Oh yeah, that's the one that I want to ask actually. Tuition fee should be the same with the local fee, right?
Exactly, which is, it's really a big advantage for international students. So basically the New Zealand government subsidizes tuition fees for international students. So when you come to do the PhD here in New Zealand, you pay the same fee as a New Zealander, which is basically, as you can see on the screen, it's about $7,000 per year here with us, with the University of Auckland, which is less than $5,000 per year. If you do 3 years, your PhD from a top 100 university, you're paying $15,000 for the whole program. So it's quite amazing. So you can consider this a scholarship, because in fact it's the New Zealand government paying for you to study. Okay. And there are scholarships for doctoral degree as well. We have our own University of Auckland doctoral scholarship, which basically you don't need to pay any fees. If you get the scholarship, you don't pay any fees, plus you receive a $27,000 bursary or living allowance as part of this. And there are a bunch of other benefits. And in order to get this scholarship, you need to come with from your master's degree with a GPA of 8 out of 9. So obviously these are for excellent students. But if you are a very good student and you've completed your master's degree in your country and you think of doing a doctoral degree, talk to AECC Global. They will help you to estimate your GPA in our scale, and then you will know if you're eligible for the scholarship. Okay, and there are other scholarships. I know we probably talked too much here. I'll just park now. So our website has plenty of information about all the different programs. But if you want to know more, the first point of contact is definitely AECC Global in your country. So they are experts in New Zealand, and we work really well with them, the University of Auckland. So they know a lot. But if you want to do your own search, you can go on our website, and we have the Ask Auckland section where you can type questions and find information. Or if you want to connect with a student, a current student, we have a fantastic new feature, which is our TAP platform. You are able to chat with current students, international students. So you can find that on our website as well. Just go and go for talk to a student, and then you find we have Indonesian, Singapore students. We have all of them there, and you can engage, see what they're doing, and then really talk to them. So it's one of the good things that we recently implemented. All right.
That's a great initiative.
Yes.
So
that's right.
so like the prospective students will be able to ask directly their experience, like the current students, right?
Correct. Obviously, if you are after information about how to apply or information specifically about the process, that is better to talk to AECC Global or Ask Auckland. But if you want to know about the living experience, how is the student experience, or how is to live in Auckland, and that kind of thing that you only can really get from a student, they are definitely the best source for that, because they are real students that are ambassadors for the university.
Great. Well, I think we've got some questions coming up, Marcelo. Let's see what questions. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Okay. So how big is your classes, and is it classes taught by professors or by teaching assistants?
All right, that's a good question. And okay, what I would tell you is it really depends. The size of classes depends on what program you're doing, and normally what level. For example, in a bachelor, first year bachelor degree, in a popular program like, for example, business, our Bachelor of Commerce, you will be in large classes, and you can be 100, 200 students easily in one of the in the big classes. But as you move towards the end of your program, after second year and third year, you get the specializations, and then it gets smaller and smaller, and you might end up in a classroom with 15, 20 students, depending on the field of study. So this is for bachelor. That's the biggest that it gets, thinking of a Bachelor of Commerce, for example. If you do something more specialized, even for example in law or other areas, then you have a smaller class. At master's level, generally is smaller, no more than 50 students, and eventually you have 20 students in one class. So it really depends. And yeah, normally you'll be taught. All our academics, they have a PhD, so you'll be taught by doctoral professors, associate professors, all doctoral degree holders.
Yeah. So it actually depends on which level of study. Usually, if it is, let's say, master degree, that will be more, case study that requires smaller classes size, right?
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Okay. Next questions. Averagely, how many students will be in one class? So I think you've covered a bit on it.
Yes, I can give an example. I should say, I didn't mention at the beginning, but just a quick example. I'm currently studying. I'm doing a Master of Public Policy at the University of Auckland. So in my class, I have, just in the last semester, I had 50 students. And that my professor said that was a large class. So normally about 30, 40, this time we had 50. So in my class, I have 50 students for the Master of Public Policy, just to give you a real example.
Okay, next one. Are there research possibilities with the faculty, and mostly in what area?
Yeah, so again, we are definitely a research-led university. So there's plenty of research opportunities, and I think probably the question, Varissa's question, is about like, can I actually engage in research and can I be involved in projects? And the answer is yes. Being a research-led university, there's research happening in every department. Every academic dedicates some time for research. Some academics are full-time researchers. So it's really a matter of you engaging with the department and in your faculty, and you find those opportunities. Obviously, this is valid mostly for master students and PhD students. For bachelor students, if you are a very good student and you are in your third year, you might have opportunity to be involved in real research projects. You might be invited to support research projects. Yes.
All right, hope that answered the questions, Farisa. Next one. Is your MBA program now open for international students? If yes, do you require, I think, relevant work experience to be eligible for admissions?
Yes, it's a good question, and it's probably coming. Yeah, so Wendy probably knows a bit about our business school. Our Master of Business Administration currently is not open for international students. We have a huge demand domestically, and they become very competitive. So our MBA currently is for domestic students only. What we do have, and they are very popular for international students, it's our Business Masters program. And that is the Master of Management, Master of Marketing, Master of International Business, and there are other two programs. So the Business Masters, we don't require work experience. Most of the students, they will come with either 0 up to 5 years work experience, okay? And you don't need business background. You maybe if you studied arts or you've done eventually engineering, computer science, it doesn't matter. You can come without business background, business studies background, and then you can join our Business Masters. So Business Masters is definitely the right program for you.
Yeah. Okay, it's alternative, but still the same as good as MBA, I think.
Yes.
Okay, next question, please. Okay, for Malaysian students, do we need to take any medical admission test for graduate entry into the medicine program?
That's right. Yeah. So the medical school, I have my colleague Karen Dorian from the medical school, and she would be best to answer questions from medicine. But yes, ATP is that the program? I think it's the exam. There is a graduate entry option for Malaysian, for Singaporean students, and yes, you need to take the test, the admission test, same as between Australian and New Zealand universities. We can get back Yonella just with the name of the test, the admission test, because it's an external test, and I'm not 100% sure right now.
That's fine. So you can contact ACC Malaysia probably for the exact information. The other one, can I work as a research assistant as well during my studies there? Is there a possibility?
Yes, definitely, Joe. It's very common. I'm assuming that you are considering to study a master's degree or a PhD. So if you are at postgraduate level, yes, it's possible, and it's very common to work as research assistant. Many of the research projects, they have specific funding. And we basically hire students to help in the research. There's a huge workload. Some of these projects are, huge. So definitely, there are opportunities to work as research assistant.
Okay. Do you offer tutoring services if I need them? If yes, any additional cost?
Yes. So when you study with us at the University of Auckland, you will have lectures, as you would expect, but all the courses, they also provide tutorials, which are small group opportunities to interact with our academics, and we have also what we call office hours. These are some times that your professor will be available for individual conversation, so you can make an appointment and see them. So there are plenty of tutorial, no extra cost, but also other ways to interact with your professors. So we work very closely with the students. And I should say one thing that I believe in New Zealand things are quite different is how the relationship between professors and students. In general, New Zealanders are a lot more casual. And if you ask, Professor, my name is
Mm-hmm.
Marcelo Credidio. If you say Professor Credidio, first thing that I'm going to say, no, just call me Marcelo. Everyone wants to be called by the first name, so don't worry about formality, and that puts you a lot closer to your professor, and you have a lot more chances to learn and interact.
That's great. Next. Okay, can I work part-time while studying?
Yes. So if you're studying at university, your student visa allows you to work 20 hours per week during your studies, and during the scheduled holidays, so over summer, you can work full time. Okay.
Hmm. Okay, so it's 15 hours. So the
20 hours.
last one I heard is the salary rate averagely for $18 to $19 per hour.
Yeah, I think the minimum salary has been going up and up in the past few years. If I'm not mistaken, currently is about $20 or $21 the minimum salary. So
Oh,
it's
that's
yeah.
okay.
Yes, so because it's going up every year, the labor government, the government,
Yeah.
the party in government is improving conditions for the labor force. Yeah.
Oh, that's explained. Okay. I think one more questions. I would like to ask, what can I do to improve my chances of admissions, especially if I'm looking for a scholarship?
Yes. Look, it's really about getting your documents together and making sure that you're providing all the evidence that you need, and that's why I really advise you to work with AECC Global. They are specialists in preparing your application. So often we have people applying, but they don't know exactly what document is required, and they're not sure. And then it's not they will decline, but it will take a long time. So if you bring up all your documents together and you have someone checking that and knowing how to do it, it's a lot easier. So that will help. But if you in terms of grades, our admissions team knows really well how to assess documents from your country. So there is not much except providing your the right documentation, pretty much. And for scholarships, all scholarships are merit based. So we will look into your grade, the grade that you're coming in, your GPA, and then we'll rank you with all the students that are applying for the scholarship, and the top students will get the scholarship. So again, it's really about providing the right documentation, and the information and that we require in our application form.
Okay. That there's some will also want to know about the accommodation, like the student accommodation. How is it live in Auckland? That's the questions. So how about the accommodation for international students?
Yeah, so accommodation, that's I think one of the strengths of the University of Auckland. You saw in one of my slides, the first slides, a picture of Auckland, an aerial picture, and the campus. We have a lot of accommodation on campus. So you basically can, if you stay with us, you'll be walking distance, maximum 20 minutes from the building where you're going to go for a lecture. Normally 5 to 10 minutes walk. So very convenient. We have all sorts of accommodation from an apartment with individual bedroom in one apartment, studios. We have catered accommodation. So if you are 17, 18 years old, you stay in accommodation with meals provided, so everything included, and obviously accommodation that is self-catered, which means that you will cook your own food. So very, very good. It might be that we have a video to share so you can have a look. But in general, very good, and students are generally quite happy with the accommodation. So yeah.
All right, I think
when students first arrive from overseas, the comment they say is New Zealand is really beautiful, which I love to hear. Auckland is such a diverse and vibrant city. It's got such a good cultural and art scene, it's got stunning beaches and parks.
I have a very deep love for the ocean, and Auckland is surrounded by the ocean, and sometimes I just walk down Queen Street to the waterfront and enjoy my day.
I chose to study at Auckland University because I identify so much with the Kiwi culture. I'm the type of person that likes going out and doing things and like having something on all the time.
Students first arrive from overseas, the first comment they say is that New Zealand is really beautiful, which I love to hear. Auckland is such a diverse and vibrant city. It's got such a good cultural and art scene, it's got stunning beaches and parks.
I have a very deep love for the ocean, and Auckland is surrounded by the ocean, and sometimes I just walk down Queen Street to the waterfront and enjoy my day.
I chose to study at Auckland University because I identify so much with the Kiwi culture. I'm the type of person that likes going out and doing things and having something on all the time. Like there's heaps to do. There's always tons on. Like if you look for it.
When our international students arrive, we really try and make sure that the check-in process is really easy, that they've got good internet connection to be able to contact home and tell them that they've arrived safely into the country. We also make sure that we have staff that touch base with them regularly and that they're also in contact with the international office, so they've got a wide support right from day one.
When I first arrived, everyone is new here. They all felt the same way as me, and they try to be nice to you.
The best thing about living in Europe is like having a family. Most of all, it's the staff that look after us. But roommates are like brothers and sisters to us. Sometimes we stay together, sometimes we go out together. Most of the time we hang out in the games room, playing pool and going to gym.
Homesickness can be an issue, especially because there might be language barriers as well to overcome. We are very aware of extra support, but also making sure they're also keeping in good contact with their family and connect them to different resources as well to make sure that they feel at home here.
Living at Grafton is kind of like living in a peaceful little bubble in the middle of Auckland City. Like we have these beautiful green grounds, and it's really peaceful inside as well. You really like that, and I really like to be able to come home and just like relax.
We have a range of events at the University of Auckland to make sure that all of our students can be engaged with the wider community. So we have regular sporting competitions, but some cultural competitions as well. So we have had Waka Ama at the beginning of the year. We recently had a football competition, talent question, debating. So there's lots of things for students to get involved with.
I think there's many chefs, so you can try a variety of food and dessert. It really happy because they are yummy. really tasty.
Ila is only 5 minutes from the engineering and the rec center and the gym, and it is very convenient.
My advice to anyone thinking of staying at Grafton Hall or any hall residence is to just do it, because it's a really good way to make friends and to establish a routine, and it's a really big step to the whole university experience.
Okay, there's a big glitch on the video, but I think it's explained quite well about the how fun living in accommodation in Auckland. I think we're towards the end of the session, but we got another last questions, I think. Yeah. So great question to close. What makes University of Auckland different from other universities?
All right, very good, Shania. That's a good question, especially if you're considering, where to go and where to study. I think, there's no question that the University of Auckland is in a leading position based on external assessments from the international rankings, and that means that you'll be coming to a university that is in the top 100 in the world. That's really outstanding. But I would probably revert that question and more to and ask you to think about your area of study. And if you're coming for example, for a master's, have a look at our academics, check their profiles. This is all available on the website, and I think it's important that you find some connection, with who is going to teach you, because after all, you will want that connection. So I think that's very important. Apart from that, we are great. Come to study with us.
That's great. Another one. Do you have any specific statistic employability report post graduation from master program? So I think it's graduate employability rate.
Yes, very good question. There's one important ranking that is also a global comparison about how universities prepare and how they prepare their graduates to the work environment, which is the QS World Employability Ranking. And in that ranking, we compare to universities around the world. We again are performing really well. We are currently 59 in the world. Okay, I saw 59, but I'm talking about thousands of universities. So we are in a good position there. The rate of employability, of how long it takes for someone to get a job, to be frank, from the very beginning, once you arrive with us, if you're coming for a master's degree, from the very first day, you will be already engaged, and you can reach out to the employability service. And there are workshops, there are fairs, multiple things happening to support you and to get to know potential employers. There are like civic clinics. So lots of opportunities for you to to prepare yourself for the job market even before finishing your program. But also, I just want to mention, for example, in the business school where I work, many of our students, they finish their program already with a job offer. Some students, they will end up working, taking 1 or up to 3 months, but normally about 80% of the students, they will have a job up to 3 months from graduation. That's according to the last survey that we did. So it's pretty good. I think it's pretty good. And again, it's really up to you from the very beginning to engage in activities in this area. Okay.
Great. Yeah, I think we've running out of time as well towards the end. So I think I just want to say thank you once again, Marcelo, for all the information. I think I must have also learned a lot today. Also, thank you for everyone who is gracing our live session with your presence today. We truly appreciate it. If you have further questions regarding studying in the University of Auckland or in New Zealand, please contact us at ACC Global via social channel or just visit our website. So also, as the saying goes, to every beginning there's an ending, and here's come the end of ENZ 360 Live. We hope you enjoy and gain something out of the 8 universities live. And if you miss out any of the universities session, please visit our Facebook or YouTube channel because you can watch the recorded session there. So once again, thank you very much for joining the ENZ 360 live session by ACC Global in collaboration with Education New Zealand. Remember to follow ACC Global Malaysia, Singapore, and Indonesia social channel for latest news and activities like this. So we hope to see you again in the future. Thank you so much, Marcelo.
Thank you very much.
Bye, everyone, and take care.